Welcome to the InSession Film Podcast for September 9th, 2013. This is episode 29, and I'm JD Duran.
And I'm Nate Parsons.
And I'm Scott Pollard.
And I'm Fox from GeekScholars Movie News.
And this week, I'm really excited to have Fox on the show from GeekScholars Movie News, a really great podcast I would highly recommend checking out. And on the show this week, we're going to be reviewing Riddick, the latest in that franchise, which should be pretty interesting. And then we're going to be discussing our top 3 movies / franchises that don't or didn't need sequels. And there's a ton of those. And we're going to be continuing our football movie series with pretty popular football movie, Rudy, which is pretty interesting considering I'm a huge Michigan fan and we just beat Notre Dame last night. So I love that. And before we get into it, how's your guys' week?
My week has been fantastic. I've been doing some work at Indiana University with the IU Cinema. They're bringing in some really wonderful directors. Nicholas Winding Refn is doing a series here next week. He's going to be debuting, not debuting, but debuting here at least. Only God Forgives. So we'll do a little question and answer session with him. And yeah, it's been really nice. In Indiana, the weather has gotten hot and sticky for some odd reason. It doesn't. It's like the last ditch effort before fall takes hold. But otherwise, it's been nice.
Yeah, it's been the same here in Lexington too. I feel like it's been more mild summer, but the last few days have been real hot and humid for sure.
My week wasn't as interesting as Fox's, but it was all right. I've been real busy with work and
staying out of trouble this week.
Yeah, I have been staying out of trouble. Except for last night, but we won't get into that.
But for the record, last night was Nate's birthday, so happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, Nate! Absolutely,
thank you.
So it's a free pass. It's good.
Okay.
All right, Scott, how was your week?
Had a good week. Work was pretty good this week, and I got to see a Reds game on Friday night, and they're playing really well. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I feel like out of the group of people that we interact with, I think Scott, you're the only one that loves baseball. I can't tell you anything about baseball right now.
That's fun, and I'm pretty used to that anymore. America's kind of gone from baseball to football, so
yeah, for sure. All right, well, before we get into it, just one quick thing is last week we were talking about Brian's song, and we got an email from a listener, which I thought was kind of funny, because Nate said that Billy D. Williams starred in the movie, but he called him Lando Calrissian, and the emailer was like, that's a fictional character.
Yeah, of course.
Not the actual actor.
Wow.
Wait, what do you mean?
Check in on that.
Yeah, exactly. It was just kind of funny. So, but yeah, Nate was he was being sarcastic, just for the record.
Was he?
I hope so.
It's still real to me.
All right, let's. We got a fun show. Let's get into it.
And here we go.
You're listening to the InSession Film Podcast. This is episode 29. 1 down, 3 to go. You see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, straight to the
The change state on. Okay. Good doggy.
let's cut him loose.
All right, Riddick is directed by David Toohey and stars Vin Diesel, Katie Sackhoff, Matt Noble, and a whole bunch of other people that really don't matter. All right, well, what did you guys think of Riddick?
I enjoyed Riddick. I've been looking forward to it for a while now in the hopes that we would get back to the magic of Pitch Black. I thought Chronicles of Riddick was a bit of a step in the wrong direction in that it opened up a universe that I don't know that a lot of people cared about. I think that it went all Lord of the Rings and tried to create all these different races and planets and things like that when people really just wanted to see more about Vin Diesel. So I like the idea of Riddick getting back to that central character. I'll leave it there because I have some reservations about what I did not like about the movie. I want to hear where you guys sort of stand overall.
Well, I know that's going to be a different answer from Nate and I. Nate, why don't you go first?
I hated Riddick.
You hated it?
Strong. Yeah, I definitely hated it. I think it's the worst movie of the year that I've seen so far. I mean, it makes the incredible Burt Wonderstone and White House Down look like Oscar contenders.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
There's no.
How do you really feel? Don't sugarcoat it, Nate. Nate, don't hold back here. You can let loose if you feel the need to say something strongly.
I'm gonna get into it. There's nothing positive about this movie for me. I mean.
Fast show.
Bad dialogue, bad performances, bad script, bad visuals, and it just goes on from there. Yeah, I hated it.
He has a few reservations also, Fox, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, what did you think?
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I did not expect a lot going into it because I really didn't care for Pitch Black or Chronicles of Riddick that I remember. It's been a long time, but definitely Pitch Black was a lot better of those two. I agree. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. There was parts that could have been cut out. I thought maybe 15 minutes out of the movie where they're in the ship too long, stuff like that. But overall, I had a lot of fun. I felt like the creatures were really inventive, something enjoyable to watch. I felt like Vin Diesel is really good at this character, and I felt like Katie Sackhoff did a good job as Doll. So I enjoyed a lot of the actors, and overall, I liked it.
Wow.
Well, I guess we're going to have to make this 2 against 2 because I'm sitting where Nate is with this.
It works out.
I didn't care a whole lot for this movie either, but I will say going into it, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise to begin with, so perhaps I'm a little bit more biased. But I don't really remember much of the first 2. They were never films that I really cared for, so I mostly forgot what had happened, quite honestly, going into it. So I really had forgotten where this franchise had left off, quite honestly. So I went into it and I just had a hard time getting on board. Like the story to me just seemed uninspired. I just didn't really care for what was going on. Like Nate was saying, there's the visuals, they just weren't that great. Vin Diesel I thought was fine, but I feel like a lot of the other characters just had lots of cheesy, bad dialogue. Everything felt like a punchline. I just felt like some of it was overacting a little bit. And I'll disagree with you, Scott. Katie Sackhoff, to me, I felt like she was trying to do too much. Like she was overacting to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And part of it, I think, might have been the script because I feel like a lot of the lines she was forced to deliver weren't great. I feel like it was just really cheesy. But she's someone that has kind of been in sci-fi stuff before, so I feel like she would be able to be in this universe better. I don't know. I just didn't really care for what she was doing with a whole lot of that. And quite honestly, to me, the best character in this movie wasn't even human. That's all that I'll say.
JD, if I may, I would like to go back to something you said there. You talked a lot about how bad the script was and how much you enjoyed Vin Diesel as an actor in this role, or at least you appreciated it more than some of the other aspects of this movie. What I'm kind of curious about is the first third of this movie, and I don't think we're giving much away by saying this is almost Riddick's version of Castaway. We are alone with the character where there's no dialogue. And it's kind of a bold move for a science fiction action movie where you just sort of have these contemplative scenes where the character's growing slowly and adapting. So did people like that for this character? Did you appreciate sort of letting Vin Diesel act without words, or was that sort of did that also feel forced to you?
No, to me, the beginning part of the film I thought was fine, and especially with him just for the entire version of our podcast, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher, or check us out online at InSessionFilm.com.